Hello everybody, I hope you're all well. And this is a special video I've done for all those who tirelessly trawl through the information and do all the research every moment of the day to bring us the weather news. I am sure it is not as easy as some may think.
You mean you still haven't gotten through to the Weather Bureau? Oh, Herb, I've got to get through. What am I going to do? I can't stand out here and stall for 5 minutes. I mean, this is a weather forecast. I'm not an entertainer. Please, I've only got 5 seconds. Can you please get through? Can you? Good evening. Hello, everyone, and welcome to your 11:10 weather forecast. It's brought to you every evening at 11:10 at this same time. The present temperature is degrees, and the wind is coming from the wind is coming from. Well, the wind is coming from the window, isn't it? Close that window back there. See, it's heated here in the studio, so we have no way of telling actually what the weather is outside. Well, we have ways. You don't have to get. Well, let's just take a little look here at the map. Well, there she is, good old USA. This, of course, is Maine, and this is Florida, and way over here to the west, of course, is California. Let's just pencil that in. California there. And, of course, you do get varying degrees and temperatures in those different areas. I was born right in here. That's West Virginia there, and I'll bet it's really cold down there now, Herb. Really cold in West Virginia about now, huh? He doesn't know.
I don't know. It's raining here.
In the 30s in the high desert. Oh, I'm going to have to change. Look at this. Oh no. That's a bummer.
Oh no. Oh no.
Where's the green? That's a bummer. I thought it was light enough. Do we have another camera? Like, can we turn this one around? So yeah, this is what happens. Dress by Chris Burrows.
What a gentleman.
It's intense.
You can see that threat in the dark purple area even extends across eastbound places like Boston back towards the... Can I try this again? I don't know what the hell I'm saying. 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 I'm just tired. That's it. All right.
Okay. Ready.
Mostly sunny.
Now, Live Super Doppler has been indicating locally heavy amounts of rainfall across southwest Iowa. Microsoft recommends upgrading to Windows 10. What should I do? Don't you love when that pops up? Anyway, over an inch has fallen across southwest Iowa, and we will be keeping track of that as the morning goes along here, too. So, what's going on with my clicker now? Okay, the winds have been very gusty overnight as well. It's the Windows 10, right? That's what people are going to say. Don't do it.
That we go to Loki, who is, of course, Thor's brother, to talk about the bad weather coming in here. So Loki, what have we got there?
Well, you know, my brother from another brother's been misbehaving. The God of Thunder has brought his skill set to bear on the local weather, shall I say. So there is this huge storm front coming in, and all that means is that Chris Hemsworth has taken his hammer, he's smashed it on the surface of the sky, and it's going to rain a hell of a lot. So good luck with that. And back to you, sir.
Very good. That was awesome, Tom. Way to go. Right. Loki with the weather there, Tom. That was terrific. Yes.
Thank you very much, guys.
Hopefully Thor's hammer will not come down too hard on us this afternoon.
Now let's have a look at the weather, Louise. You're right.
Sorry. Going through.
I think we've lost her. I'll tell you what, we'll do the come back to me on count 3. Now, let's get a weather update. Here is Louise Lear.
Thank you, Simon. Good evening, everybody. I'll try and keep it together because it's not a laughing matter with the weather in Scotland. Today's it's been pretty wet and windy with the strongest of the gusts of wind across Scotland and Northern Ireland. In fact, we've seen gale force gusts into Wales and across the parts of England. We've had some sunshine with highs of 24 degrees. So that's 75 Fahrenheit. Let's move back to this area of low pressure that's been sitting across the northwest.
Dave has some help today. His mini meteorologist.
Going back and forth. It's like a bobblehead.
And she is full of personality.
Oh, look at that. I like that. I like that.
She's going to outdance you, Dave.
I like that too. Yeah. Are you having fun here? Mm-hmm. Okay. So, you ready for summer? You got your flip-flops on. You're ready to go. You want some warm weather? What's the temperature right now?
81.
81. You like that picture? Yeah? You can go swimming. I like satellite and radar shows that we do have a few clouds lifting through. Do we have any rain right now?
No.
Charleston? I know.
We do.
Sometimes we need held up as we go through our Friday and Saturday, but then warming back up. Our Wendy's mini meteorologist, Anna. Always good to see you. Can I have a hug? Aww.
Michael Fish was a famous British weather forecaster, best known for his BBC weather presentations. He was actually employed by the Met Office, but he had one occasion.
You were in people's living rooms so often that they began to recognise you and put a bit of faith in your forecasts and things, I suppose.
But most of the strong winds, incidentally, will be down over Spain and across into France.
Michael was just so confident that everything was going to be okay.
I'm sure Fish regrets even mentioning this phone call. He only mentioned it as a joke.
Good afternoon to you. Earlier on today, apparently, a woman rang the BBC and said she heard that there was a hurricane on the way. Well, if you're watching, don't worry, there isn't.
Rubbish! I'm shouting at the telly at the time. No, it's there! I can see it, Michael. Really, I don't have any meteorological training, but there's a big storm behind you, just on your right shoulder, mate.
Well, if you're watching, don't worry, there isn't.
I remember this very, very well indeed. I lived in a small apartment near the airport, and I had triple glazing, and so I didn't hear anything. I slept through this storm, but when I left for work the next morning, I noticed there was some sort of debris and some things in the car park. But it wasn't until I came across the first tree that I realised there'd been a rather bad storm. I actually tried 4 different routes to get to work, and every one had debris or a tree or a large bus across it.
Worst gales in 3 centuries sweep through Britain.
The next morning, carnage! Bedlam! Trees uprooted, caravans flying through the sky.
Power lines were down, all the telegraph poles.
They came without warning in the early hours of the morning. Winds that hit 110 miles an hour and then went off the gauge.
There was so much damage caused, especially over the south of the country, that it was just absolutely horrendous.
There's flooding too in many areas, adding to the distress of thousands of people in the south of England.
15 million trees were gone. I mean, half the forestation in southern England was just gone overnight.
There was no warning. The weathermen were caught with their forecast down. The Home Secretary has called a crisis meeting of ministers.
Yes, I could see it being windy because there were bits of leaves and things, trees and things, but it didn't dawn on me until several hours after I'd been to work that something major had happened.
Why weren't we warned? Didn't the weathermen know there was such a fierce storm on its way?
I think the first 2 words most people were saying was Michael Fish, although they might have inserted another word in between those 2.
This was one dramatic scene near Bournemouth as early morning drivers were taken by surprise.
And in nearby Highcliffe, 90 pensioners had to be evacuated when their roof was ripped clean away.
Michael could say anything, and these grounds would believe him, you know what I mean? This poor ground's in bed without a care in the world. Wake up in the morning thinking, oh, where's those stars come from? The roof had just blown off.
Michael Fish must have been cringing with embarrassment when he saw what happened the next day. But I think he was also shaking with anger because everyone was saying he got it wrong. And he's like, no, it wasn't a hurricane.
Well, for a start, the hurricane we're talking about in '87 wasn't a hurricane. You can never get hurricanes in this country. It's just simply impossible. Touch wood.
He must have just wanted to curl up and hide away forever. I would not have wanted to be Michael Fish that day, or really any other day either.
I'm looking at you, Fish, if you're watching this. And I'll find you, because my dad lost his shed through you.
I did get fed up at the time, and until I retired I got very fed up because I couldn't answer for it. The Meadows were not very keen to keep bringing it up, and I shall go to my grave with it probably on my tombstone.
This is a sky I took a couple of days ago and decided I was going to use it for this video. So huge thanks hugs to you both, J7409 and Rose. You are just both amazing. Never stop what you're doing. I know it's hard work, but we really do appreciate everything you do. Thank you, we love you, and thank you so much. Bye.